friends, I'm Nadine Brandes, the author of Fox, Romanov, and the Out of Time series, and it's been a while since I've done a video, but I have reasons. The main reason you may have seen if you follow me on any social media outside of YouTube is that, surprise, surprise, I'm expecting another baby. We've had one, yes, but what about second Brandes? So Halfling is getting a sibling in like 4 months. 3 months. I can't math. The point is, a baby is coming. That kind of hit me right after release time for Romanov, and I was basically a slug my entire first trimester. I was so tired. It was debilitating, really. I couldn't even answer emails, let alone make videos. And now that I'm kind of getting my feet back under myself and getting my energy back, I've been writing again. I've been figuring out new rhythms with Halfling just in time for all those rhythms to disappear the second I have another baby. You may be wondering, Nadine, were you planning on having another baby this quickly? And the answer is, sort of. Planning on having another baby? Yes, Lord willing. This quickly? Not quite. It took us a long time to get pregnant with Halfling, and so Mr. Ninja and I thought it's probably going to take a long time to have another baby, and it didn't take a long time at all. So God knows what we can handle, but mostly it just feels like I'm about to start completely over with motherhood because another infant is coming, and I'm like, didn't I just do this? Didn't I just survive this? And now I have to do it again with a toddler also? Am I intimidated? Yes, I am, but I'm also very, very excited. Both my husband and I are from big families. We wanted to have more than one child at least, but we didn't really know if that's what God had in store for us. So lots of answered prayers for this baby, for Halfling. I'm super excited, and I know that I will take it one day at a time, and it's gonna be a joy and a wild, wild ride. I thought that I would come to you with at least a little update. Update number 1 being pregnant. Update number 2 being what in the world is happening with my writing? Romanov released, hooray! So now what, Nadine? I've shared some updates on my Instagram, and I've been working on a lot of new stories. So let me give it to you in a nutshell. Basically, after Halfling was born and then Romanov released, I decided that I needed to figure out what my new writing rhythms were. I had never written being a mom before, and I didn't know how much that would slow me down or how that would change my daily schedule of writing. So I told my publisher I would like to take some time off before sending them any new ideas after Romanov so that I can figure out what my new rhythms are, because one of the biggest things that you can do for yourself as a writer is figure out what your writing rhythms are, how fast you can write a book, how you can best spark and channel your imagination into creativity. For me, I get a little panicky under deadlines. I also tend to overcommit, so my first inclination is, sure, I have a baby, I'm expecting another, give me all of the contracts and deadlines and I'm sure I can do it, and then I burn myself out. This time I really spent a lot of time in prayer and just thinking about my limitations and being okay with the fact that I have limitations because I'm a human and we all have them. Thankfully, my publisher has been very understanding about this, so I've taken what I like to call a Sabbath year. It's basically a year where I'm not on deadline, I'm not under contract, I don't have this pressure of getting a new book out there, and I've been able to spend the past several months figuring out how to write while taking care of Halfling, thinking about what the future is going to look like once baby number 2 comes and what those rhythms are going to look like. And the minute that I was off deadline and Romanov was out and my brain and my body were able to just relax and breathe with release season being over, my imagination was like, I'm awake! Here are all of these new ideas, Nadine! So in November I started working on a new project, which I have called Project Stiltskin. It has its own hashtag and everything. But that's not all. I've actually been bouncing back and forth between 2 or 3 different stories, which I've never done before. I've always just stuck to one book until I've completely finished that book or that series, and then I move on to the next idea. But also, I'm not the type of writer who has this list of 752 ideas that I want to write before I die. I get like 1 or 2 solid book ideas at a time. So because I'm not committed to writing one book because I'm not under contract or deadline, I'm able to bounce between these new ideas, and it's been a lot of fun for me. I didn't think that my brain would be able to work that way, but it's working right now. So in short, I'm working on a couple projects because I'm excited about them, because I want to write these stories. My hopes are to finish the first draft of both of these books before baby number 2 comes into the world. It's pretty ambitious. But I figured if I at least get the first drafts done, then baby can come, I'll take some time off, and then I will be letting those manuscripts rest, and when I come back to them after a couple months, I will have fresh eyes and be able to enter the editing process, and I will be in that much better of a place to be able to edit and strengthen those stories. So that's where I'm at writing-wise, that's where I'm at life-wise, and it feels like such a healthy place for me right now, mentally and physically, letting myself rest, letting myself write just for the joy of it instead of for the deadlines. Of course, I'm hoping that my publisher is going to want one of these stories, but I've also realized that when I write under deadline, it tends to shut off my imagination, and I have such a hard time creating. Such a hard time. Fox and Romanov were so difficult to write under deadline because they started from scratch with that contract, and I had to write the entire book knowing that it was due in just a couple months, and my brain just wouldn't function at its best that way. Thankfully, the stories managed to come out, and we managed to polish them up into something publishable, but it was a lot harder than if I write when I'm not on deadline. I'm actually wanting to document a bit of my drafting process. I've gotten lots of questions about how I draft, if I outline, what it looks like for me to develop this brand new story. And since I'm in the midst of doing that, I wanted to share some of that process, a lot of that process, and be very transparent as I write these new books. So I'm going to be filming that and posting it on Instagram, but also hopefully posting it here on YouTube. So if you have any specific questions about my drafting process or writing process or anything writing related, drop those in the comments, because I'm compiling a giant list of questions that I want to make sure that I address when I start sharing, vlogging, recording my drafting process. So there's the update. There's me. I'm gonna make videos when I can and update you as I can. If you want to keep up on my life on a more consistent basis, I'm most active on Instagram. You can also sign up for my newsletter, which goes out about 2 or 3 times a year. Those links are down in the description. If you want to keep up on my videos where I talk writing, publishing, and all of the bookish things, you can click subscribe or the little bell icon that gives you an email alert every time I post a new video. So with that, tally-ho!